Today, March 29th, this message found you for a reason. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but because something inside you was ready to hear it. Take a slow breath and let your shoulders relax. You don't have to rush through this moment. You don't have to figure everything out right now. Life has a way of becoming heavy without warning. Thoughts get louder, emotions feel deeper, and you carry more than you ever expected to. Maybe lately you've been showing up for everyone else while quietly feeling exhausted inside, smiling when you don't feel like it, saying you're okay when you're not, pushing forward even when your heart just wants a moment of peace. If that feels familiar, then this moment is for you. Because something is shifting in your life, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly and powerfully, like the first light before sunrise. There are things that didn't work out, doors that closed, people who walked away. And at the time, it felt confusing, maybe even painful. But what you couldn't see then is that not every closed door was a loss. Some were protection. There were paths you almost took that would have drained your energy, relationships that would have taken more than they gave, situations that looked right on the surface but carried hidden weight. And even though it hurt to let go or to be left behind, it made space. Space for something healthier, something more aligned with who you are becoming. Because you are not the same person you used to be. You've grown through stress, through uncertainty, through nights where your mind wouldn't quiet down. You've become stronger in ways that don't always show, more aware, more grounded, more capable than you give yourself credit for. There were moments when you felt like you might break, when everything felt overwhelming and you questioned your direction, your purpose, even your worth. But you didn't break. You're still here, still trying, still hoping, and that matters more than you realize. You were closer to giving up than anyone knows, but something inside you kept you going, a quiet voice telling you to hold on just a little longer, and you listened. Right now, you might feel like you're in between chapters, not fully in the past, but not quite in the future either. And that space can feel uncomfortable, but it's also where change begins. Clarity is coming, slowly but surely. You'll start to understand why certain things didn't work out, why some people couldn't stay, why delays happened when they did. And when that clarity arrives, it won't bring regret, it will bring peace. You'll realize you were never being ignored or left behind. You were being guided, even when it didn't feel like it. Not everything in life needs to be chased. Not every connection is meant to last, and not every opportunity is meant for you. Sometimes the right path feels calmer, steadier, less chaotic. In the days ahead, you may notice small but meaningful changes, a sense of calm replacing anxiety, clearer thoughts replacing confusion, a quiet feeling that things are going to be okay even if nothing around you has changed yet. Trust that feeling. You don't need all the answers to feel peace. Sometimes peace comes from letting go of the need to control everything. There are things you don't need to fix, conversations you don't need to have, people you don't need to convince. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. So take another slow breath and remind yourself you are safe, you are guided, and you are allowed to move forward without carrying everything behind you. You are not behind in life, and you are not late. You are exactly where you need to be for what's coming next. And what's coming is not meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to support you, to steady you, to remind you that life isn't only about struggle. There are moments of ease, clarity, and connection waiting for you. You don't have to rush into them. Just keep moving forward, one step at a time, with patience and quiet confidence. Because something is aligning in your life, even now, even if you can't fully see it yet. And one day soon, you'll look back at this season not with confusion, but with gratitude for what didn't happen, for what changed, and for how strong you became through it all. Most of all, you'll be grateful that you didn't give up. Take one more deep breath. You're going to be okay, more than okay. And as you continue forward, there's something even deeper you need to understand.
This season you've been in, the waiting, the confusion, the emotional weight, it wasn't empty. It wasn't wasted time. Even when it felt like nothing was happening, something important was taking shape inside you. You were learning how to be still without giving up, how to trust without seeing immediate results, how to hold on to your values even when it would have been easier to let them go. That kind of growth doesn't happen in loud, obvious ways. It happens quietly, beneath the surface, where real strength is built. You may have felt overlooked, like your efforts weren't being recognized, like you were doing everything right and still not moving forward. But the truth is, you were being prepared, not ignored. There were things you needed to outgrow, patterns you needed to break, and perspectives you needed to shift before stepping into what's next. And now, that next chapter is closer than you think. You'll begin to notice that certain things no longer affect you the way they used to. Situations that once drained you won't have the same hold on you. You'll feel a new sense of clarity in your decisions, a stronger sense of self in your boundaries. And with that will come a different kind of confidence, not loud or forceful, but calm and steady. You won't feel the need to prove yourself the way you once did. You won't feel the need to chase validation from people who never truly saw you. Instead, you'll start choosing what feels right for you, not what looks right to others. And that shift will change everything. You'll also begin to see how certain endings in your life were actually redirections. Conversations that stopped, connections that faded, plans that fell apart. They weren't failures, they were adjustments. They were life gently moving you away from what couldn't support your future. And while it may have felt like loss at the time, it was actually space being created. Space for healthier relationships, clearer opportunities, and a more stable version of the life you've been trying to build. You won't have to force these new things into place. They will come more naturally, more smoothly, because they align with who you are now, not who you used to be. There will be moments where you pause and realize how far you've come, how much lighter you feel, how much stronger you've become without even noticing it day by day. And yes, there may still be moments of doubt, moments where old thoughts try to return, where you question if things are really changing. But those moments won't control you anymore. You'll recognize them for what they are, just echoes of an old version of you that no longer defines your path. And instead of getting pulled back, you'll move forward with more awareness. In the days ahead, focus on staying grounded. You don't need to rush into big decisions. You don't need to have everything figured out all at once. Just take things one step at a time. Pay attention to what brings you peace and what takes it away. Trust your instincts. They've been quietly guiding you all along, even when you doubted them. Give yourself permission to rest when you need it, to step back when something doesn't feel right, to move forward when something feels aligned. You are no longer in a place where you have to fight for everything. Some things are meant to flow, and you're stepping into that space now. Opportunities will begin to open in ways that feel right, not forced. Conversations will feel easier, more genuine. You'll find yourself in environments that support your growth instead of draining your energy. And slowly, without pressure, life will start to feel more stable, more balanced, more clear. You don't have to carry the same weight you once did. You don't have to keep holding on to what's already been released. What's ahead of you doesn't require that version of you anymore. It requires the one you're becoming right now. So keep going, gently but consistently. Trust the process, even when it's quiet. Trust yourself, even when you're still figuring things out. Because everything you've been through has been shaping you for this moment, this shift, this new direction. And as you move forward, you'll start to see it clearly. You weren't stuck, you were being positioned. You weren't falling behind, you were being aligned. And now, you're ready for what comes next.
And as this new chapter continues to unfold, there is one final truth you need to carry with you. You are not stepping into something uncertain. You are stepping into something you've been prepared for all along. Even in the moments when you doubted yourself, when you questioned your path, when you felt like you didn't have enough clarity or strength, Life was quietly equipping you. Every challenge you faced taught you something. Every delay strengthened your patience. Every disappointment refined your understanding of what truly matters. And now, as things begin to shift, you may feel a mix of emotions: relief, hesitation, even a little fear of the unknown. That's natural. Growth often feels unfamiliar at first, especially when you've been used to surviving rather than thriving. But this time is different. You're not moving forward from a place of pressure or urgency. You're moving from a place of awareness. You know more now. You see things more clearly. You understand your own needs, your limits, and your worth in a way you didn't before. And that awareness will guide you better than anything else ever could. As new opportunities appear, you won't feel the need to grab everything at once. You'll pause, you'll observe, you'll choose with intention, and that alone will protect your peace in ways you've never experienced before. The same goes for relationships. You'll no longer feel drawn to connections that confuse you or make you question yourself. Instead, you'll naturally gravitate toward people who feel steady, honest, and respectful of who you are. And when something doesn't feel right, you'll trust yourself enough to step back without over-explaining. That's growth. That's strength. That's clarity. There will also be moments where life feels surprisingly calm, where nothing is chaotic, nothing is pulling you in 10 different directions. At first, that calm might feel unfamiliar, maybe even uncomfortable, because you've been used to figuring things out under pressure. But allow yourself to adjust to it. That calm is not emptiness, it's stability. It's the foundation you've been needing. It's where your best decisions will come from. Financially, emotionally, mentally, you'll start to notice a sense of balance returning. Not everything will change overnight, but the direction will be clear. You'll feel less scattered, less overwhelmed, more in control of your choices and your time. And that sense of control won't come from forcing outcomes. It will come from understanding what's worth your energy and what isn't. As you move forward, remember this: you don't have to go back to old patterns just because they're familiar. You don't have to reconnect with what drained you just because it once mattered. You are allowed to move on without guilt. You are allowed to choose peace over pressure, clarity over confusion, growth over comfort. And most importantly, you are allowed to trust that what's ahead of you is meant for you. There is no need to compare your journey to anyone else's. There is no need to rush to meet someone else's timeline. Your path is unfolding in its own way, at its own pace, exactly as it needs to. And one day soon, you'll notice it clearly, not in a dramatic, overwhelming way, but in a quiet, steady realization. You'll feel it in your thoughts, in your decisions, in the way you respond to things that once shook you. You'll realize that you've changed, that you've grown into someone more grounded, more confident, more at peace. And when that moment comes, you won't need validation from anyone else to confirm it. You'll just know. So keep moving forward, calmly and consistently. Keep trusting yourself, even in small decisions. Keep choosing what feels right, even when it's not the easiest option. Because everything is aligning, not all at once, but in the exact way it's meant to. And this time, you're ready for it.
And as you step even further into this new phase of your life, there is a quiet realization that will begin to settle within you. You don't need to force anything anymore. You don't need to chase, prove, or overextend yourself just to feel secure. The version of you that felt like it had to do that is slowly fading, replaced by someone who understands the power of patience, the strength in calm decisions, and the value of protecting their energy. You'll start to notice how much easier things feel when you stop trying to control every outcome. Situations will unfold more naturally. The right conversations will happen at the right time. The right opportunities will come without you having to exhaust yourself searching for them. And in those moments, you'll realize something important. You were never meant to carry everything on your own. Life was never supposed to feel like constant pressure. There is a flow to things, a rhythm that becomes clear when you allow yourself to slow down and trust it. You may look back at your past and see how often you were operating from survival mode, making decisions out of fear, holding on to things out of uncertainty, staying in situations longer than you should have because you didn't know what would come next. But now, that's changing. You're stepping into a space where your choices come from clarity instead of fear, where you no longer settle for what feels wrong just because it's familiar, where you begin to trust that walking away doesn't mean losing, it means making room for something better. There will be moments when you recognize this shift in very simple ways. You'll respond differently in situations that used to trigger you. You'll choose silence instead of reacting. You'll walk away instead of over-explaining. You'll prioritize your peace without feeling guilty about it. And those small moments will show you just how much you've grown. At the same time, new energy will start to enter your life, not overwhelming or chaotic energy,